What is up, everybody? Wow. It's hot. Why do we even live in Arizona? It's cooler today. I think it's only like 111, 113 or something. Check out that hairdo. Time for a haircut. I got the greatest barber ever. Man, she's good. Anyway, different topic. We're making a lot of progress on this dang thing. So, we are still waiting for Xavier Miller. Yeah, Miller Spec wiring. Was a guy that was helping me with wiring. We're on like, I don't know, 3 months. When I originally said it was gonna take 2 weeks. So, not too happy about that. At the moment, he's ignoring my phone calls and text messages. So we are T-minus 9 days? 9 days. So in 9 days, we will officially have to set this project aside and probably start on plan B, which I think we've showed that car. Anyway, that's a different project. So if we cannot get this car up and running within 9 days, we've decided that we're just going to put it aside, and then we can work on the other projects so we can at least drive something at this event. So I've already paid for the event, I've already paid for a spot and everything. I am going to drive at this event. So, yeah. Where we're at currently, quick update. This is where we're at. He has provided some wiring. There's still a lot that needs terminated. These get terminated to the firewall, so he still needs to build pretty much everything from here back. So everything that connects to the ECU, everything that connects to the fuel pumps, the PDM, the taillights, the water pump, the cooling fans, everything. He needs to connect to all that. So in the meantime, we are trying to finish up little odds and ends. We've redone our list like 12 times. Front ducting, done. Done. So, oh man, I think some brake fluid hit that. I have to touch that up. Front ducting is done. The ducting only comes to about here-ish. So we've actually made a duct. It's actually right in here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can barely see it, but that duct actually curves up and goes up to that cooler. So an oil cooler here, and then the intercooler, and then a transmission cooler that's over here. At the same time, we've also added a piece of 3-inch aluminum pipe that comes over in kind of 90s and is my inlet in cold air inlet for here. I've then made a shield on the backside just to try to keep rocks and debris and tire gummies from hitting the filter. We finally got the rest of these on, one on this side, one on that side, got these painted. Devin knocked all these out. These used to be gray, now they're all nice and black. Yeah, we built some shields. So I was super worried, and I'm still worried about temperature. So this turbo kit, the way that it's set up and how the manifolds come over the side and the transmission, or the turbo's over the transmission, I'm worried about temps. So went ahead and I still have quite a bit. I have this roll, I bought this roll of titanium a while ago, and I've been making heat shields. So titanium is a great source, great material for heat dissipation. So there is a heat shield here that we've made that goes pretty much all the way down. We took the torch to it and glued it, which made it kind of cool looking. So that's going to then prevent all the heat from here transferring to the intercooler, transferring to this silver, which is the wire harness, and then there's 2 cooler lines here. So got to keep all that heat down. I just made this one. This is another one that was just really close to the wastegate, coming right off the turbo. So I didn't want to preheat the air going into the intercooler. It's already getting pretty hot as it is, so trying to just lower that temperature down. And then we built this big one over here. This big one comes over 45s and then comes back around the outside, and it actually comes down and then goes under, so it protects the shift cable and everything all at the same time. So that one came out real nice. It's actually just strapped to the exhaust pipe itself, and then this sensor block that's in the back corner. I was really worried about this sensor block and then all the plumbing for here. I went ahead and when I originally built this, all of this is heat sleevings, so I put heat sleeving on everything. All right, anywho. So, sensor block. I had put all this, sleeved all these lines. There's, well, oil pressure here, water pressure, map sensor, fuel pressure, like everything's here. So he's made this really cool block. I think this is super cool. But I wanted to be able to protect all this, so I made another one. So this is another one that kind of blocks off this whole entire area. So should leave me with enough room that if I need to quickly get in here and service this or replace the sensor, it should be fine. It's a little on the wobbly. I think I might try to fix that. I don't know yet. His harness, when he did the harness, he actually made everything. He builds and designs and 3D prints all these, which is super cool. These breakout boots, so they're pretty much like everywhere. All these boots and boots and boots and pants and boots and pants. Yeah, so he built these. There's a carbon fiber tube. It's kind of hard to see. You can see it there. There's a carbon fiber tube that connects these together. So we needed a way to mount these. So I machined these brackets that bolt to the valve cover and then bolt to here. So then it mounts all these individually. So then each one comes off and goes to each ignition coil. And then this particular setup has 2 injectors per cylinder. So this car is a V6, but it has 12 injectors. So then I went ahead and, I don't know if I can get it. I think I can get it. Yeah. Me and my OCD and wanted everything symmetrical. I found little tiny baby rad locks. So you can see the pin down in there. That pin is a 5mm pin in an 8mm hole, so I had to build an adapter. So for those of you that don't know or didn't watch any of the other videos, shame on you for not watching the other videos. This is a rad lock. It's a connector. This particular one will hold 70 amps. It's quite impressive. But pretty much it's a quick coupler. It's a quick couple fitting. Fitting? Did you call it fitting? No, connector. A quick couple connector. Sorry, it has been a long day. But that is my ground. And if I can get it back in there, it just makes it so the ground can quickly come on and off if I ever need to service anything, if I ever need to pull the harness off real quick. It just makes it real nice. Let's see if you can see it. So it goes on the pin. It goes on the pin and then just clips on. So there's one down here on this side for that one's mostly for ECU and stuff, and then there's 2 more over here. So I don't know if you can see that, but geez, there's too much crap in the way. There's one right there, and then there's actually one hiding back over there. These were the same ones that Devin had made for our grounds that are hiding over here. So these are the big ones. Those are like the 200 amp, 300 amp ones. So there's a couple of grounds that use the big rad locks, and now I use the smaller rad locks. But other than that, I'm sure you've already seen what was going on in here. If I didn't show you, cut to the clip of installing the underglow. Yes, we are in the dark. Check this out. Devin and I just got done with, woo, look at that. Just installed the Rainbow Road. So, I don't know if we've discussed it, but we have put a clear acrylic Lexan. A clear Lexan floor. It's hard to see, but there's a 1/4 inch piece of Lexan underneath this thing. Ugh. So the whole entire floor is clear. So we just got done installing the floor, and then Devin and I just got done installing the Gobi LED underlights, blah blah blah. So there's some towards the front, so 2 sets down the side, and then there's 2 extras on the side. We actually put them on the inside of the car, so lights up the whole inside of the car as well. We might end up putting some more maybe underneath the dash to light up the dash, and or maybe some like towards the back. The back seems kind of dark. Maybe we could put it inside the ducting or something, but check it out. I like it. It's cool. Should be good for the night lapping. So that's the underglow. You can see I put it on the side of the cage. It's on the back, it's on the sides, it's on the front, it's all over the place. So I need to finish tidying up some wiring. So as soon as I get all this wiring tied up, we had a slight issue with the oil tank. The oil tank was leaking. This is a 3-gallon oil tank. The car uses a dry sump oil system, and this is the tank that feeds the engine, feeds the pump, feeds everything. So we put oil in it, and the thing was literally like drip, 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 dripping off the bottom. So stupid. So I had to end up pulling the tank. I found there was a real small pinhole in the tank. I re-welded the tank. Now it's good. At the same time, we had a real small, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a fuel leak back there. So a leak in the fuel return. So I ended up fixing that at the same time since this was out, because I had a ton of room. So got that done and taken care of. The fuel pump, which I previously talked about in a different video, but this is my fuel level, and then there's 4 pins in here and 4 pins in here. So there's 8 pins here. Your boy lost the pin out for those. Your boy lost the pinouts for those connectors, so I had to pull this lid back off. Was not fun. Pulled the lid back off. You can actually kind of slide it out of the way. Pulled the lid back off and figured out everything, retoned everything out. So I got that done. So as soon as we get the wiring on the inside of the car, when we get the wiring, if we get the wiring, we can pin that real quick, and then we can get fuel pumps. So there's a total of 4 fuel pumps in there. Yes, 4 fuel pumps. Somebody went overkill. At this point, there's gonna be a primary and then a secondary fuel pump, and then there's a surge tank in there with a lift pump. So it's a really cool setup. And then at that point, they're just gonna leave us with 1 extra pump, which is gonna end up being a backup or an extra pump. If one fails, we can always go into the PDM settings and then change, so we can swap over to that other one. Other than that, we found there was a leak on one of these fittings. So I went back through, cleaned all this up, retorqued all these fittings down. There's no more leak here, as of currently. The pedal assembly, you've all seen the pedal assembly, but we actually went through and redid all 3 master cylinders. So this is a Wilwood pedal assembly with 3 individual master cylinders. So the brakes actually is separated by 2 master cylinders. So there's a master cylinder for the front and a master cylinder for the rear, which is super nice, because then you can actually separate the brakes, and then there's a balance bar, so you can, if you want more rear braking versus more front braking, so it's super nice. But anyway, the clutch had too big of a master cylinder on it. They make 4 or 5 different sizes. So I changed to a smaller master cylinder. As soon as I changed to a smaller master cylinder, it not only made the clutch pedal extremely softer, it is night and day difference. So it's super nice. Before it was like really, really tough to push, and it was like on and off. Now it's pretty reasonably soft, and it's not as on and off anymore. And as far as the brakes go, we went from 2 1-inch master cylinders to now we've gone to 2 7/8 master cylinders. So we've drastically dumped the size of the master cylinders on the brakes down too, just to try to help with brake modulation. Other than that, we finally got the steering column adapter piece that I machined. We finally got that set up. Unfortunately, I broke a tap off in the unit itself. I need to extract the tap, and then we can run 2 bolts on from either side. Let me get to the other side. We changed steering wheels. Before, we had this thing. It's a Momo Monte Carlo, great steering wheel. I absolutely love these. That's a 330 mil, which I'm not really a huge fan. Excuse me, which I'm not really a huge fan of. I normally like a 350 wheel. But I found from Junior, a guy that's down the street, great guy. From Junior, I found this. He had the Sparco. It's a Sparco and it's a deep dish. So now the deep dish is on there. Let's see if I can put it on here by myself one-handed. It moves the steering wheel out quite a bit. So it moves it, I would say, between the deep dish steering wheel and between moving this up, we probably moved it up, I'd say 2.5 inches pretty easy. So it's a lot better, it's way more comfortable, and now that the pedals are a lot softer to use, it's gonna be great. Other than that, I don't know if I showed this. We built this cool little bracket. I get stupid and I really like to use my mill, so I will sit at the mill. I swear I'd sit at my mill all night if I could, but I machined this little piece and bent this other piece. This is the on and off push button or kill switch, and then this is a hole for the fire system. So if there's a fire, I can pull this, and then this will activate the fire system, and this will shut the car off in an emergency. Last but not least, you've all seen these in a previous video. I drilled out all of these rivets, and I pulled these back out, and I window welded these in. Before we just riveted these because we were kind of in a hurry, we were being lazy. But these are now all completely sealed, which is way better. They don't rattle as much anymore. And if I ever do go to wash the car, like obviously there's holes everywhere and there's no windows in the car, but this will definitely help quite a bit. And last but not least, ta-da, we got the rear hatch glass installed. So Jesse and I knocked this out. This was a kit. The kit had the rear hatch as well as the two side pieces. So laid the rear hatch over here, mocked all these up, and actually marked everything out. The kit does not come with this section. See how this is painted? I don't like to see all that, so it's kind of the same thing we did here. You put a paint layer on the opposite side, so it makes it super nice and it's all super glossy. That was an oops rivet, that's why it's not in line. But we got a rear hatch with glass, Lexan. So now that that's there, we're going to build the ducting, and the ducting is going to be pretty simple. It's just going to kind of see if I can back up, but it's just going to kind of come up a little bit to the glass, and then we're going to cut out a square in the glass. So you'll be able to close this. It will then match up to this curvature here. So I just need to get going on that. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, this is all the protective stuff. You can see this comes off. We're just trying to protect the Lexan, but you can see the radiator in there, so the ducting will come up. And then more than likely, towards the back, we're going to have just like an air dam, and the air dam, so the air coming in, it'll hit the air dam, and then it'll force it into the radiator. I'd like to figure something else out for this. I really want to put the wing on. The problem with putting the wing on is just once the wing's on, I can't open the hatch. So I don't know if I can like put the wing on and then maybe put it on a pin or something, and then I can like tilt it out of the way, then get the hatch up. But I need to get the wing foil out of storage, verify that my end plates and stuff are the right size, figure out, make sure all that's good. But yeah, other than that, I'd say that's a quick update, but I think we're going on like a 20-minute video. Yeah, everything is finally coming together. I'm gonna go grab the hardware. This is the front splitter that originally came off the car, so I think we're just gonna be able to reuse this. So I don't know how, but I lost all the bolts. Excuse me. I lost all the bolts that bolted this to the front bumper. So this is the double corrugated, I don't know if you can see it, Alumalite. It's a plastic inner lining with a real thin piece of aluminum on the outsides. The stuff is super rigid, but yeah, that'll end up bolting back on. You can see there's a hole there, hole there, hole there, hole there, and then there's just tons of holes up there. So there's 20 bolts in total that hold that. You can see all those bolt holes. It bolts that to the car. So once I get that bolted on, then I can put it on the car and verify. This was for the last exhaust setup. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to probably pretty drastically modify this, but we can do all that once it's back on the car. The last setup as well utilized, you can kind of see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of these bolts that I made that I just ended up drilling a hole through, and then I use guide wires. So the wire comes up from there, it comes through the bumper. It's not on there. Over here. Goes through that. So the guide wire comes up, goes through there, and comes back down just for added support, just because of how far out this sits. But I don't know if I want to retain those or try to find the actual rods. They make these really nice rods. Professional Awesome is the name of the company. I'm trying to order those. It looks like they're out of stock on their website, but if I can find those, great, or if I can get them in time. If not, I'll probably just have to run a cable, or one cable here and then one cable that comes up and goes back down over to here. So other than that, that's what's going on. I need to build one more heat shield. I don't like how this pipe, this crossover pipe here, comes over here, and then obviously this is a fuel line, this is a coolant pressure line, and then this is another fuel line. So I'd like to run something here, or maybe up to here, maybe these 2 bolts, just something to cover all this and protect all this as well. So that's probably my last one. I kind of got stupid with heat shields, but yeah, that's what's going on. That's the quick update. So as soon as I make some more progress, or hopefully I get some wiring soon. I don't know how he's going to do all this wiring in time. Whoa, he's not even looking at you. I don't know how he's gonna do this wiring in time. So he's got 9 days to build the wiring, if he already hasn't started. Come over, install it, configure it. He has to configure the PDM, start the car. Like it's pretty in-depth. It's gonna be a lot of work in 9 days. So I'm really hoping that he's already started the wiring, which would save a lot of headache. This has been extremely stressful. The guy does incredible work is the problem when he works. So when he does work, it's fantastic. Like all of his stuff, he does like trophy truck stuff, and it's awesome. But I am a lot of money into this guy, and I ended up going that route and doing that because I didn't have time to do all of this other things, do all of these other things, as well as do the wiring at the same time. I was just pulled in 19 different directions. So like, okay, cool, not a problem. He does good work. I'll have him do it. When he came over here, he sold me on the whole entire thing. And here we are. So he swore up and down that he could meet the timeline. The timeline's changed 6 to 8 times now, and it just keeps getting pushed out and pushed out and pushed out and pushed out. So I just told him, like, hey man, the 18th is our last, like August 18th. If you can't get it done by the 18th, sorry. Like I don't know what to do. Which is also frustrating because if he doesn't finish it by the 18th, I'm gonna have to obviously change plans, and then we'll start working on the other car. But that also means that why did I pay him in the first place to do the wiring when I could have just done the wiring anyway? Like, yeah.